So first, starting with a discussion of pop quiz, which was related to the periodic table and acid, alkali, and salt. In the first question, using the information, you have to identify the element from period 3. The period 3 includes sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, and argon. So sodium, we know it's a group 1 element. Magnesium is a group 2 element. Aluminum is group 3 element. Silicon is group 4. Phosphorus is group 5. Sulfur is group 6. Chlorine is group 7. And argon is group 8. Then write the symbol for the element which forms a stable ion with a +2 charge. So which can lose 2 electrons. As we know, group 2, they can lose 2 electrons. Group 1 can lose 1 electron. Group 3 can lose 3 electrons. So the element which can have a charge of 2 plus or +2, so that will be magnesium or Mg. Is the least reactive in the period. For group 8 elements, what happened, because they have a complete outer shell, so they are unreactive. So this will be argon. Next is used in a treatment of the water to kill bacteria. Which element we use? We use chlorine. In part D, forms an oxide which is mainly impurity in iron ore. Like iron ore contain this as an impurity, and it form an oxide. So iron ore, basically iron ore which is hematite, contain iron oxide and silicon 4 oxide or a sand as impurity. So silicon oxide is an impurity. So silicon element is there. It is an important component of fertilizers. Fertilizers are used to provide the three essential elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So in this case, we have phosphorus. It is stored under oil, means it is highly reactive metal, because highly reactive metal must be stored under the oil. That's why it is sodium, or we can say Na. And is used in a food container. So which element? The last time we discussed that the uses of aluminium. Aluminium is used as a food container. Is it clear? Question 1. Any doubt in this? Okay, moving on to question 2. In question 2, we have calcium hydroxide, which is slightly soluble. A calcium hydroxide can be made by reacting calcium with water. So when calcium reacted with water, it will form calcium hydroxide. Write a chemical equation for this reaction. So when metal is added to water, it will form alkaline solution, group 1 and 2 alkaline solution, and hydrogen will be there. So calcium, because it's a metal, so Ca reacted with water, which is H2O. As a result, it will form calcium hydroxide. So what should be the formula for calcium hydroxide? Calcium belongs to group 2, so it will be +2. And hydroxide belongs to, like it's a molecular ion with a charge of -1. So when we cross multiply, this one is with calcium and 2 with hydroxide. So the formula of calcium hydroxide will be CaOH in a bracket 2. Plus hydrogen is there, because hydrogen will be there, and hydrogen is a non-metal. So how these non-metal element exists? The non-metal element exists as a diatomic molecule, except for group 8, so hydrogen will be H2. After writing after writing the correct symbols for each reactant product, then we have to balance. For balancing, we start with oxygen, followed by hydrogen, and then other elements. So first we start to balance oxygen. So if you see oxygen, here we have 2 oxygen on the right hand side, but we have only 1 oxygen on the left hand side. So we put 2, so oxygen is balanced. Because this 2 is now with oxygen, so and with hydrogen, but oxygen is balanced now. Then we check hydrogen, this 2 multiplied by 2, 4. and this 2 is with hydrogen, and this 2 is also with hydrogen. So that makes 4 as well. So hydrogen is also balanced. And then calcium we have 1, and calcium we have 1. So this calcium is also balanced. So this equation is balanced in terms of calcium, oxygen, and hydrogen. So whenever you are balancing an equation, we start with start with oxygen followed by hydrogen at the last, any other element. But starting with oxygen, if it's a equation related to alkali, acid, or formation of a salt. Then name another substance that react with water to form calcium hydroxide. So calcium is reacting with water to form calcium hydroxide. What else can react with water? So it can be metal oxide, or metal can react to form a hydroxide. So it can be calcium hydroxide. When calcium hydroxide dissolve in water, it dissociates into ions and form a weak alkaline solution. Suggest the pH of a calcium hydroxide. Because they mentioned it's a weak alkaline solution, a solution, it's an alkaline, so its pH must be more than 7. But it's a weak alkaline, so weak alkaline solution, we can say 11. So it will have a pH of 11. Give a formula of the ion responsible for making a solution alkaline. So which ion is responsible for making a solution alkaline? That is a hydroxide ion. If the same question was there, and the question was which ion is responsible to make the solution acidic, then it will be hydrogen plus ion, H plus ion. So acidity of a solution depends on the presence of hydrogen ions. Alkalinity of a solution depends on the presence of hydroxide ion. Is it clear, this part?
Yes, sir.
So this was a pop quiz 18, which was mainly related to a periodic table as well as the acid alkali and so.